The Last Christmas Card. In a small town nestled beneath snow-dusted hills, the spirit of Christmas was always alive in the heart of Ella Green. For decades, her little home on Willow Lane had burst with the laughter of family, the scent of cookies baking, and the twinkle of lights wrapped around the oak tree in her front yard. But this year, everything felt different. It had been nearly 6 months since Ella had buried her husband, Samuel. Their love story had begun under a mistletoe many Christmases ago, and they had shared over 50 joyful seasons together. But now, with Samuel gone, the laughter seemed to fade, the cookies burned in the oven, and the lights hung in silence. As the first snowflakes began to fall, Ella sat in her living room, her hands wrapped tightly around a steaming cup of chamomile tea. The radio softly played Christmas carols, but the melodies felt distant, muffled by her sorrow. The once brightly decorated tree stood in the corner, ornaments glistening like frozen raindrops, yet it felt more a monument to lost joy than a source of cheer. Every year, newspaper advertisements sparked joy in the community about the upcoming Christmas card competition. Families would compete to send the most creative cards, with the winning design receiving a generous prize from the town. Ella, however, had no heart to participate this year. Instead, she decided to write just one card, a card for Samuel. She found a crisp white envelope and nestled it among the ornaments that Samuel had carefully hung the year before. With trembling hands, she poured her heart onto the paper, recalling memories of their shared Christmases, of laughter and love, of quiet moments by the fire. "Dear Sammy," she wrote. "I miss you more than words can say. The lights don't shine as brightly without you, and I can't remember the last time I smiled without holding my breath. I hope you can feel my love even in this stillness. You are my star." As she sealed the envelope, she felt a tear trickle down her cheek. That night, Ella placed the card by the fireplace, a cherished gesture to the man who had been her rock. It felt right to honor him in this small way, even if it never reached him. With Christmas Eve dawning, Ella trudged into town to buy groceries. The townspeople bustled about, laughter echoing from store windows, and carolers filled the air with joyful song. She wore a brave face, but inside, her heart felt heavy with loss. As she emerged from the store, clutching her meager supplies, she spotted a familiar figure on the other side of the street, a little girl named Lily, no more than 7, bundled in a second-hand coat, her bright red scarf fluttering in the chilly breeze. Lily was home from school, eyes wide at the sight of the falling snow and the decorations around town. "Miss Green!" Lily shouted, her voice bright against the cold. "Will you help me find the perfect tree for my family?" "That tree will be beautiful," Ella said, as Lily began to decorate. "Just like the one my husband and I used to choose." Ella shared stories and laughter around the table that evening, feeling life seep back into her bones for the first time in months. When she finally returned home, exhausted but uplifted, she noticed the card still sitting by the fire. With fresh resolve, she opened the envelope and added a line, "Sammy, maybe I can find happiness again. I promise to honor your memory as the love of my life, but I need to live too." Ella's heart ached as she thought of Samuel and their own tree-hunting adventures. "Sure, sweetheart," she replied softly. The two walked together, and Lily's infectious enthusiasm slowly warmed Ella's heart. They picked out a small evergreen together, and as they walked back through the town, Lily clutched a handful of colorful garlands, eager to share her excitement for the holiday. When they reached Lily's home, the door flung open, and her mother greeted them with warmth and gratitude. As Ella stood in the doorway, she felt a flicker of joy, a glimpse of the community she had once cherished. The little family invited her to stay for cocoa and cookies. Ella hesitated, but the sincerity in their eyes coaxed her in. The next morning, snow blanketed the ground, and the sun broke through the clouds, casting a soft light into her home. A sense of peace settled over her as she rose. Ella decided to make a batch of cookies and swung by the town community center, where families were gathering for their annual Christmas celebration. She knew Samuel would have wanted her to join, not to mourn in solitude, but to share warmth and love. The soft sound of laughter the moment she stepped into the center sent a thrumming joy rooted deep within her. She spotted Lily among the crowd, her red scarf standing out like a beacon. As their eyes met, the girl raced towards her, and Ella felt a warmth spread through her heart, a feeling that perhaps the spirit of Christmas had not quite left her after all. Sometimes, life brings heavy burdens, and sometimes, as the snow falls softly around us, we are reminded that what we lose can also guide us through the darkness. Ella understood that sadness was part of the celebration. It was a way of honoring love lost while embracing new moments waiting to be discovered. And so, she unsealed her heart, freed the joy for future Christmases, and vowed to keep not only Samuel's memory alive but to share it with the world around her, one cookie and one card at a time. Subscribe if you enjoyed my Christmas story.